AI has been a game changer for our business, and the fact that for junior level positions, we don't necessarily need them so much anymore because AI is already trained on those. And so it can do all of the research, it can do all of the scraping, it can do all of the basic work that we need to do in order to get the companies going in the right direction. And so it's really been just a massive game changer. Even for our business, it's helped us to 4.7x our margin here in the last year and a half by
Nice.
using AI. I think it's changing the world, and I think there's multiple paths that we can do. I think first of all, we're in the Wild West right now. AI is just everywhere and you can do whatever you want with it. So we're in a gold rush. So those people using AI now and who have an understanding of what it can do and how it can do it has an advantage to make millions and millions of dollars here in the next 12 months.
Hello, welcome back to another podcast of Second Brain, AI powered business thinking. I'm your host, Vimal Patel from RoundTechSquare. Today we have a guest in the house, James from Houston, Texas, the brand owner of Illumination Marketing. Thank you very much, James. Welcome to our podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Okay, thank you. Before we start anything, I would like to know more about you and more about your brand, what you do as an Illumination Marketing brand. If you can just take us through the journey of what that brand does.
Yeah, absolutely. So Illumination Marketing is a full service media and marketing company. So what does that mean? It means we do everything from build strategy to build websites to SEO, pay-per-click, social media, all the way to videography, photography, drone videography and photography, and everywhere in between. But the core of what we do is helping service-based businesses making $1 to $10 million a year plus who want to aggressively grow. And we do this mainly through getting companies found on Google. So this is going to be SEO, local SEO, and pay-per-click.
Okay, nice. Okay, so you are those people who kind of helps those brands to take their hand, make a strategy from them, everything done within the whole scope of the requirement, and then make them successful, and then help them out to become more powerful and successful with the
Yeah,
revenue and
absolutely.
customers. So nice,
We're like
nice,
the
beautiful.
great and powerful Oz behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. We
That's
help these
that's true.
companies grow by getting found on Google, and no one knows we do it unless we publish a case study.
Understood. Okay, got you. So now we will get to the whole journey of AI and then what it does, what it not, and all those stuff. So I will start with the first question saying that obviously you have built this brand, right? I mean, the 4 years or last 5 years will be dramatically very better or very nice with the use of AI and in all these crazy nice tools. So just take us through, tell us that what are you doing very smartly with the use of AI to do the thing what you are doing as a marketing firm. So what do you do with the AI right now?
Yeah, that's a great question, a very broad question. We could spend hours talking about how we can
Yes,
implement
true.
AI, right? AI has been a game changer for our business, and the fact that for junior level positions, we don't necessarily need them so much anymore because AI is already trained on those. And so it can do all of the research, it can do all of the scraping, it can do all of the basic work that we need to do in order to get the companies going in the right direction. And so it's really been just a massive game changer. Even for our business, it's helped us to 4.7x our margin here in the last year and a half by
Nice.
using AI. So we're keeping more of the money that we're making, and we're making more money because we can get more done in a day. So it's like this virtuous cycle for us. It's really incredible. So just to give you an example too, right? So for what we do SEO, right? There's really like three main parts to it. Technical SEO. So now we can send AI to go crawl a website and find all the technical issues and bring it back into a report. Or there's tools that you can pay that do the same thing, right?
Agree.
So really, really incredible there. For content development, this is really the thing that makes SEO run. It's the secret sauce, really. It's making sure that you have enough topical authority on a subject in order to make sure that your company gets found, right? And so now, again, the same thing. The best articles find questions that people are already asking. It researches them through the different forums, through different reviews, through all of these different places that you can find, and then it drafts it all into an outline that answers all of the questions comprehensively while still rewarding what Google is already looking for. So, as an example, how do you get to number one? Well, the answers are hiding in plain sight. You just have to look at page one and see what aspects are working on those pages, and then kind of reverse engineer it, and then you can put them in place. And luckily, AI helps us do that 100 times faster than we ever did before. So, in 2022, this was all an unbelievably manual process, right?
Agree, agree.
Yeah, we went and we found all the answers that people were asking, and then we had to go research the top 10 websites. We had to look at their structures of what they were putting in their H1 tags, what they were putting in their H2 tags,
Two
how many
tags.
words they were using on the page, how many internal links, how many images, all of the things, right, that we need to do.
Yes.
And so we would do that process, and that's a good 4, 5, 6 hours just doing that. And then we'd
Yes.
have to draft the outline and get that approved, or we would and we would put that into a brief, and then we'd send it over to a client and get them to approve it. They'd send it back, say, yes, you can start writing on this topic. Then we'd have to have our writer write the whole thing, or we'd have to outsource it if just depending on how much work we had, right? And we'd find all these writers that we had. And the whole process would end up taking $500 to $1,000 and a week of time. And since AI has come along, we've been able to really truncate that cost into now it takes us, we've built an internal software that kind of does all of this for us, and we can do it in 13 minutes and 71 cents. So the cost
Wow.
is just unbelievably
Indeed.
helpful, and it's just starting to hit the ground, right? With AI and Gemini, we can actually take the images of the employees and put them into scenes of them doing the work, which then gives them a unique image that nowhere else in the world has, and it looks like it's their company. And these things are just mind-blowingly sharp now, and you can
Yes.
barely tell unless it has like an extra finger hanging off or
Mm.
something
That
that
that's right. That's
that
right.
it's an AI. We can
Yeah.
do that to the fact where we can even go get videos done now. We can have an avatar record it, and then we can put the owner's face on this video, and they can do that walkthrough. We can use something like 11 Labs, which then puts their voice on it, and it's just like this unbelievably unreal
Quick and
world
fast.
that
Yeah.
we
I mean,
live in.
I still remember that day when I woke up on November 2022. One of my tech friend texts me on my phone saying that, okay, hey, you know what happened? I made a PPT in 2 minutes. I said, okay, I mean, what did you do? And then he just dropped the link of a chat GPT saying that there's something called chat GPT came. There are thousands and millions of download in a few minutes. And then, you should try that. And it just does automatically. I mean, I know about AI. We studied in AI, like, back in the days of 2000, 2004 batch of engineering, we were studying, we were reading the books, and then, yes, this can happen, that can happen, automations, all those. So those words are familiar to us, that the techie people like you and me. But at the same time, when it came into a picture in a reality, it was amazing. And I was like, okay. And then every time now when I wake up and somebody texts me, oh yeah, you know what, the email thing came up, and the image thing came up, this came up, and then it's so exciting to kind of work with all those funny and fancy things, and then it's amazing. You're right. So that takes me to the next question. So now people like you and me, like we are using this a lot, and then, a lot of things are happening very smartly. We have a whole source of knowledge and information. Now, when somebody asks you a question, or when somebody says that, okay, hey James, just tell me one thing, that what does the future look like? I mean, this is came to us so fast and paced within these last 4 and 5 years. Now, what do you think as an individual tech person, that what will be the future looks like after maybe, like, 5 years or maybe a decade? Like, what would you say? Or what would you
Yeah.
have a thought in mind?
Yeah, that's another incredibly broad question, right? Like, what does the future look like? So, here's the interesting thing. Google, one of the biggest companies in the world, only has like a 9 month roadmap right now because technology is changing too fast for them to predict what's going to happen. And I promise you, they make a whole lot more money than me, and they have a lot more smarter people working at Google than I am.
Yes,
So if
yes.
they can't even predict it, how am I supposed to predict it? That's
Okay,
kind of where we're at. But here's where I think we're going. I think it's changing the world, and I think there's multiple paths that we can do. I think first of all, we're in the Wild West right now. AI is just everywhere, and you can do whatever you want with it. So we're in a gold rush. So those people using AI now and who have an understanding of what it can do and how it can do it has an advantage to make millions and millions of dollars here in the next 12 months. It's pretty incredible.
okay,
Where do we go in the future? I think the government somehow starts to regulate this at some point because it's too powerful. Even all of the CEOs and the top developers who are working there go, "Hey, this thing's going to take over the world at some point." I've seen the Matrix. I know it's going to happen. Like maybe they came from an alternate timeline. Who knows? But that might be
okay,
what happens, right?
okay,
And so it might go into that direction. The next direction is we have made labor the commodity in the world
Mm-hmm.
now. So, as I
Mm-hmm.
already mentioned, there are no junior positions left anymore. They're just not needed. And even at the big companies that still have these junior positions in 2 or 3 years, they won't because they're just not needed. AI can do all of it. So, it's making sure that you use AI in an appropriate way. But the good news is you don't have to be the CEO in order to be a CEO anymore. You don't have to have 30 years of experience. All you have to be able to do is look around, spot a problem, take it to AI, have AI walk you through how to fix this problem, create a software or a solution for that problem, and then
Okay.
all of a sudden, you're a millionaire and you're helping like tons of people. And I'll give
Okay.
you a perfect example of where this is at today. I'm good friends with a cardiologist here, and he was talking to me last week, and he's like, we have all these EKG readings, and we've been paying the same RCM company for 15 years to go through and code all of our charts and then submit them to insurance. So that's how we get paid. And he goes, 85% of them get rejected. And he goes, it's incredible because I'm probably leaving $1 million a year on the table just from doing these EKGs, and they're not worth fighting. Even though we get $1 million, the time to do it would just take so long. He goes, so if there was only one, like a solution that could help us to make sure that we read an EKG right the first time, put it into the appropriate formats that we can then put to an insurance company, all of a sudden we're making $1 million a year. And that's where smart business owners like myself go, aha, light bulb goes on. And I go,
Okay.
AI can fix that problem in 24 hours. All we have to do is have it look at it. It already has optical character recognition in it, so it can read the whole thing for you. It can line it out in the exact way that you want it. It can run its own QA checks on it 2 or 3 times over. Fable just got released this week, which is supposed to be amazing in the way that it's doing that and finding its own errors like 10 times quicker than anything else we've ever seen before. So that's where I think we're going, is that really smart people aren't necessarily working for somebody else. They're becoming more problem solvers than they ever have been. And
Okay.
again, to be a tech bro, right? You don't have to have a company of 1,000 engineers working anymore. You can have a system. You just have to have the money behind it in order to be able to pay for it. But it's 100th of the cost of what it was 5 years ago. So I think that's
Agree.
the direction we're going. One of those two,
Okay.
it's either going to be regulated to everything, and then we'll be able to use it on smaller scale bases, or
Okay.
and it will blow up the planet eventually, or we just have all these jobs that are just now getting created from people who pay attention and want to solve problems.
Okay. So when you put this point across, saying that regulating the whole, the tech in the sense of, kind of control the whole flow and control, the way it just gets to the people's hand, that kind of, raise two questions. Okay, if you allow me. So first is, okay, I just saw the WWDC and Apple yesterday. I mean on Monday actually, right? So they announced saying that the Siri with the stronger AI intelligence connected to it and stuff like that. Now that feature of very intelligent and powerful feature will be on a palm of every iPhone user in the world, right? I mean, starting after 4 months, right? So when you think like that, okay, hey, this thing will be in a palm of everybody else, or any kind of a user which we cannot control, or even a tech people, I mean tech company like Apple cannot control, saying that, okay, hey, this is going to be used by the 14-year-old, it's going to be used by 40-year-old, or sorry, 80-year-old, and then they will be using the way they think is right, the way they think is correct, and then they'll get the data, they'll get the outputs, whatever the inputs they put, and then they will be so powerful in the sense of using that in their hand. And at the same time, the second question is, so what do you think about it? That's the first question. And second one is, what's going to happen to the people like uh, ground level labor, like, okay, the cleaning people, or the person who just cleaning up the lanyard, I mean in a landscape, the person who is cutting your hair, the person who is cleaning the house, the person who is fixing the mechanic who fixing the car. I mean, of course, there is a tools and softwares, and then the service is there to help them out. But actually, somebody's really need to take the wipe the, I mean, take the cloth in their hand, wipe it off the roof or window or whatever. So what do you think about their future? Okay, and in the sense of the service people, and then that this piece of technology everybody's hand. So what your thoughts are in terms of these two direction, what world is going towards?
Absolutely. So the first question, what are the thoughts about the tool in everyone's hand? I think it can be either a really, really good thing or it can be a really, really bad thing, right?
Okay.
And with great power comes great responsibility. If you want to go down the conspiracy theory hole for just a minute, like the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, right? Have you seen everywhere in the world that they're putting fiber internet in, at
Yes,
least in the United States?
yes, 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 yes.
And we passed the
Agree.
Patriot Act in 2001, which allows the government to legally spy on everybody. And we're building high-powered data centers literally all across the world right now.
Well, yes,
They're sinking them into the ocean to try and keep them cool. They're sending them into outer space next to try and keep them cool. They're using up all of the water to make sure that these things are cooled all the time. So do you know why we need that much power from a government perspective, knowing why that we have all these options available for the government, right?
yes,
Um,
yes.
so what this does is fiber transfers internet or data 10 times quicker than anything we have right now. You have these data
Cable,
centers
yes.
that powering this so they can go through all of this data. And then these big data models can parse through all this data and organize it into information like that. So someone looking on an iPhone, it's transferred back immediately. And then we have all of these inputs from the government, which then can be used to control the masses, which is, again, the conspiracy theory rabbit. Like that's always a
Correct.
fun rabbit hole to go talk about.
Ye-
I think that can be one thing. I think the knowledge, we've never had more knowledge than we have right now in the world. And I think
Agree.
still part of the problem is figuring out what's true and what's not. AI still uses something called heuristics, which is when they don't know the answer, they just make it up because they think it sounds good. They being a computer, I guess they're not really a they, or maybe they are, who knows? But it makes it up just because it thinks it sounds good. So if it's lying to you, basically what heuristics is lying to you, then what happens? So we keep becoming more and more misinformed. So does that cause a chasm within society as far as a big thing goes? Or are we relying too much on technology that if an EMP goes off, an electromagnetic pulse that destroys everything around us electronic, that people won't be able to function because they've always just used AI and ChatGPT and all of this fun stuff, right? So I think it's an interesting and scary world. At the same time, on the flip side of it, now we have more knowledge to get more things done quicker than any time in human history. So does this mean that all of a sudden we're going to solve the world's energy problem where we can have free use energy like Tesla was trying to do 120 years ago or what Einstein was trying to approach? Can we figure that out now quicker because it moves faster than humans? And I think the answer is inevitably yes. At some point, the right inputs will help you get the right outputs to solve all of the answers in the world. So I think it's an incredible journey that we're going on. And it's also the scariest journey we could possibly be going on,
Agree.
still at the
Agree.
same time.
Okay, got you. And what about your thoughts on those service people? I mean, I'm wanted to get your thoughts on those, people like, what's going to happen to the person who's actually doing artistic work or using their hands and feet to do certain things in a certain way, which no way in the world in the future can be replaced by except the robot. But again, the roboting thing is just again another conversation altogether. But the artistic work, painting, like I said, cutting the hair, cleaning, and all this thing. I mean, what are your thoughts are? I mean, does that will never be disrupted? That process or that particular things will never be affected with the AI? What your thoughts are?
They're already disrupted with it, right? We can do digital art that looks just as good as hand drawn art these days,
Yeah,
and you
you're
can't
talking
tell
about
me
the
that won't.
NVIDIA. You're talking about that NVIDIA thing. The NVIDIA come up with that supercomputer and then made
Yeah,
that
it's
the Mona
nuts, isn't
Lisa.
it?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can already
Okay.
do that. As far as people who are working with their hands on the trade labors, I think that's going to be safe just a bit longer than people who are working in a digital perspective. But Tesla's getting ready to implement their robot. Right? Like we saw it at the
Occupies.
Tesla
Yes.
store this last week.
Yes.
They said it's
Yes.
$35,000 right now on pre-orders, which means here in the next 9 months they're expecting it to be delivered in the home. Meaning, if you ever saw the movie I, Robot, that is what a
Yes.
Tesla robot is. It looks
That's
exactly
right.
like it too. It freaks me out.
Agree. 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 Agree.
So
Okay. Yes.
that's going to be doing all the house cleaning and the house chore work. If you look at some of these videos from Japan, I don't know if they're true or not. Like I haven't had the time to, but I saw one the other day. It was a hair cutting station. What it does is like this big circular dome comes around your
Oh
head,
yes. Yes. Yes.
scans it
And
to
then
see
does
that,
that and then make the
and then
haircut
does
out
the
of it.
perfect haircut and goes up in
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so if that's the case, does that put the haircutting industry? And then how far does that go? Because we have robots that can crawl into dark spaces and do plumbing. We'll have like It's not there yet, which is why I say that the trade industries are a little bit more protected right now than digital, but it's going to get
It's
there,
get that. Yes, that's true. Okay.
right? And
Yeah,
so the
so
person who makes the money is the one who's in control of the robots and the one
robot.
who has the
Yes.
idea
Yeah.
and can
And then
manage
data.
that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, we are ending towards a conversation, but yes, so that's a great two topic we thought of or discuss over, saying that what it is doing right now, and then what is this come up with. So it's going to be a lot of learning for the people like who are freshly graduating and then trying to get to the market or trying to get to the business or a job or inventing something. They'll get a lot of feedbacks about it, and at the same time, the technical people like us kind of get to know that, okay, hey, you know what, let's just roll up your sleeves, get it ready, get it going. If not, then obviously, I mean, there's no two ways about it that you're going to be left behind. And then in order to get to the game, you have to learn that, you have to start that, start implementing, start putting in a day-to-day use. And then like the way calculator came and changed our life, computer came and changed our life, from typewriter, from pen and paper. I think this AI will kind of change the history of digitalization of the current use of last 2 decades into very future and very brighter. So yeah, thank you very much, James.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, it was wonderful talking to you. I think all this information will help so many people, so many listeners. And till the next time, thank you very much. And then I will put your brands and then information about Illumination Marketing, that wonderful work you've been doing, so that people can find you, people can reach out to you, connect you on LinkedIn, get to know more from you. And then if they have any questions, they know where to reach out to you. But thank you very much. Till the next episode, thank you. Have a nice day.